This is where the issue is stuck at, in the grassroots. The leadership across the land is already unified. It's just that the people got to realize that this is about to happen so that it can happen. The people don't realize it yet.
Sharing this video as far as you can.
That's
other videos that you've done to get it out to for people to see it, and then start asking questions, and just having discussion groups with your meetings with your with your kinfolk, things that you can do, even if it's a small group of 5 or 2, but start like the old each one teach one, each one reach one. We need to do something in order to get on one accord with this. And that to me seems like the issue. We gather together, but we're not assembled together. In other words, to me, when I think of assembly, I think of a puzzle with pieces. You could throw the 1,000 puzzle piece on the table and it's gathered. But until it's assembled, you don't have the full picture.
Right.
And that's what we are. We're like 1,000 pieces, a million, millions of billions of pieces of puzzle pieces thrown on the table of life, but not assembled together. And that's the only way I see from my finite mind that we can even begin to tackle this monumental task of freeing ourselves from something that we've been entrained in for so long. I mean, folks are literally, you don't even know sometimes that you've been entrained and hypnotized. What did the Pope say? Give me the child for the first 7 years and I'll show you the man. Or they said even train up a child train in the way that he should go, and when he's old he won't depart. And we got a lot of folks that have been trained, and it's hard, if you will, to crack that nut. They're not letting any new info in.
Right, because they took sides with a doctrine that doesn't serve their interests, because the doctrine has something called a persuasive argument attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop arguing doctrine and just start asking for receipts first and foremost. That's why I put all those receipts. Like when you go down my page ain't regular. Them all receipts. Some of them you gotta be intuitive enough to read them like a tarot card, but some of them is an outright statement. Some of them is book references to tell you where to find certain stuff. Right? Even my videos is the receipt. When I'm telling you, look up the words I'm using. Look up, when I say look up fractional reserve banking, so you'll know what it is. Then you know how they're stealing your money. Right? Look up the difference in get you a Black's Law dictionary, and go in there and look at what the word used to be and what it is today. It's not the same.
Right.
When you can see the evolution of the terms change, then you can see the corralling of the mind. Right? Like today, we say more, it's a catch-all. Anybody that look like us is classified now as a Moor. Good Moor, dirty Moor don't matter, they still a Moor. But when you go back before 1492, ain't nobody over here called Moor.
Now, so we have to unlearn some stuff, and for a lot of folks, they were like, "Look, Dag, I just got out of being Negro and Black, and I just went to, and I thought Moor was the thing." Well, we have to be open to change. You have to be open to progressive knowledge. And I mean, one thing about me is I've never been stuck anywhere that I couldn't get out of mentally. If me being a pastor, in ministry for 25 years and a pastor for 10 of those last 10, and then when Chu slapped me upside the head, I just like, oops, gotta leave that. I mean, I've never, I'm not the kind, but not some folks are not that easily moved out of their entrainment, and their indoctrination, and so it becomes difficult because in their minds what they're doing has helped them, but if they really looked at it critically, they're like it's like they're in a rut that they're just digging deeper. They really haven't going up, they haven't ascended, they're going down.
You remember, it's a chapter in the Circle 7 called Misery. It started out, weak and insufficient as thou art, O man, and good. There is one thing in which thou art obstinate and moveth not, and his name is misery. Because of the suffering, we latch on to the suffering. Because we are empathetic people, when we believe that something drastic has happened to our people, we're going to ride that suffering out. Right? Because that's the grievance. Is our people is got a very unique characteristic. I don't want to see you going through nothing I don't want to go through. And if I come across you dealing with something that I don't want to deal with, I'm going to do everything I can to enlighten you on how to change what you're going through so you can be in a less traumatic situation. Each one teach one. This is where it comes from. If I don't want you to go through nothing I don't want to, why would I inflict it upon you and force you to go through it? That's the enemy's perspective. That's what his agenda is. He's using your energy to harvest. He's putting you through the stuff he don't want to go through, and you so caught on the misery and the empathy of the misery that you attach to the suffering while he reaping the benefit.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, like I said, but at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, how we can come together and stop fighting each other. And everyone has to ask him or herself, what is my motivation? You know, everybody wants, you know, if we get great ideas, and I'm an idea factory. But one thing I come to realize is that even though I have a lot of what I think are damn good ideas, they're not all for me to put into effect. Right. I'm not supposed to execute them all, but I am supposed to share them. You know, somebody else has to pick that one up. But if it's coming through me I call myself the idea factory, then I should give it freely, because at the end of the day, it's going to be beneficial. So if somebody gets some kind of financial gain from it, fine. But larger, if it's helping us as a whole, then that's the important thing, knowing that we can't do everything. You sprinkle seeds out there, and, you know, like I said, one plants, another, you know, waters, and we used to say in church, and God gives the increase to it. But it's the same thing. You may not have your name on everything that is good that comes out of this, but at least you know you gave your positive energy to it, and it's going to benefit the whole. And I think some folks are afraid of not getting their just due, or their just, you know, they want their 15 minutes.
Listen, our culture teaches us this: whatever you can do to contribute to the collective, if you do that, the collective will make sure you're taken care of, because it's a mutual exchange of benefit. But anything that you do that only serves your own interest and has no benefit to anybody other than one person, the community never supports that. Right? So why do we buy music?
Why do we?
Music is our culture. It's a critical part of our culture. We can talk through the music what we can't say openly regular. Right? So you a producer, Tracy Chapman. You're a producer, Bob Marley. You're a producer, Sam Cooke. And you're a producer, the OJs and the Temptations. And we know we got a message in the music. Somebody got to remind us it's a message in the music. Because when we can't talk politically in the realm of politics, when we can't talk because somebody got us stifled in politics. Politics is a well-controlled and well-organized scam.
But if you break that word down into the two words, it is poly, many, ticks, bloodsuckers. It's right what it says, just what it is.
And right there in the word.
It's right there.
So just be your best self, and make your interests also serve the interests of the most people you can. Some people can only muster up enough inner light to serve 10 people in their lifetime. But those 10 people might go on to serve tens of thousands each because of that contribution. Because you did your part, you've affected tens of thousands just by teaching those 10. Right? Each one teach one, we all gonna reach something. Right? So when we understand what's going on the land, the more of the mothers, really, it's more important that the mothers get this information than anybody else, because it's their shit. The sisters got what you call first right to the earth right, which is the earth-born birthright. Earth is a feminine planet, and it's supposed to be ruled under matriarchy. The mitochondrial in the woman is also found in the soil of the earth. Right? That's because the woman is tied to the earth through mitochondrial, and she blesses the man to have mitochondrial as well. Right? And the love of the women ties into the love of the child's mother that's performing the function to make his mitochondria produce more output, which raises his consciousness to higher levels. This is what they call, what do you say, raise yourself to infinite wisdom, right? That's what he's talking about. Make your service, make the mothers so proud that they all want their sons or their daughter to be like you. And when you get the respect of the mothers, you change the landscape. Just by them feeling in their heart that somebody came that can see the problem to get us out, changes the vibrational frequency, and then it make the bloodsuckers start running the other way because they can't tolerate love energy. They become violent, aggressive, and most of the time it be inflicted upon themselves.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm trying to keep myself, like I said, my brain is racing and all, you always think, but I'm thinking back in terms of when you hear folks say, you chose to be here in this time. We make those determinations as to whether or not we're going to incarnate at a certain time to be in the earth realm, which is like the prison planet and the university all in one. So we chose to be here. So if we chose to be here, we knew or we felt that we could make a difference, whether it be in our suffering or in our joy, whatever success or lack thereof, that it was going to make a difference. Because who would pick something so horrible, if you will, as a time of what we've seen, unless we knew that the outcome was positive. That in the end,
so just like when you're going out, your past life flashed before your eyes. When you coming in, your future life is laid out before your face. You would know how to navigate it better if they didn't shine them bright ass lights on you in the delivery room. Because you're supposed to birth a child in ambient light. This is why we need our doula centers back. They took all the doula centers and turned them into hospitality places. The places of hospitality to us used to be the whorehouse. So now we prostitute ourselves for medical research and don't even know it. That's why they always practicing, because they don't know what they're doing.
Wow. That's interesting.
That's why they so quick to snatch out uterus and chop off breasts. They call that desecration of the holy places. Each one of the women, when they self-realize, is a holy place. She is an entire temple dedicated to creation itself.
Churches are laid out as a woman's holy place, when you coming down the aisle or going into the, so yeah.
And Dr. Bean tell it like this. She said, heaven is between the legs of the black woman. That's what Dr. Bean tell you, because ain't nobody get in to earth without going through the portal of life.
Sure.
They can make many trans testicles as they want to. They can get them artificial everything. But when that womb of a natural born woman is going to naturally produce what they science is trying to reproduce.
Speaking of which, I just saw, thank you, Sister Fariel L. I know she's in the chat. She turned me on to yesterday to an season 10 of American Horror Story on Hulu. And so I looked at the last 4 episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I think I shared just a little teeny bit with you. But in that, since you mentioned that, they have gone.
It was about the PQQ.
I'm on PS, me on PQQ. Yeah.
Right. So the PQQ is for the mitochondrial. It's the fuel for mitochondrial in the physical world. But most of the mitochondrial, when it's operating in its optimum function, it's spiritual. It's the spirit energy that charges and powers the cell at its micro levels. So when he asked me about it and I started telling him that it was the fuel for mitochondrial, he said, man, you know how many naturopaths I asked about that don't know what that is? You know what it is?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I didn't remember which thing it was, but I knew whatever it was, you knew it right off the bat. And so, but yeah, so, I just try to do the things that are natural and to keep myself, going. I'm sitting here, I'm sweating. I'm sure it's like 90 degrees still here. We've been on here for just about 3 hours. Listen, we have an event coming up. I wish, I know you can't, but I wish you could be here. But we have an event coming up in August, and we are hoping that all that can, because last year we did 2 of these things called Up Close and Personal, and this year we're only going to do one, but it's a whole weekend, 3 days. So we're hoping that we can get at least 85 to a max about 100 folks to come out and hang out with Grand Sheik and myself and others, and who knows.
That'd be a great pleasure if I'm able to make it, but I don't know what Big Mama gonna have me doing next.
You will ask Big Mama, because we will bring you here. I won't even announce it. It will be a secret. If you do show up, it will be. I wouldn't even put it on the.
It would be on short notice anyway, because right now I can't make plans that far in advance until I can read what's going on. I have to know where I need to be at.
But now that I know that you were close to here, because you've been to Seaford, that's what I call it Lower Delaware. But you know what I'm talking about.
I used to work for Townsend Chicken.
I was going to say, was it chicken?
You down there in Seaford, ain't really much to do but work in the
Tyson
chicken factory
and stuff like that. What came to mind is like, did he work in the chicken factory down there? But,
yeah, they had me deboning breasts.
I've heard stories. People were like, "Oh, they grow the chickens and they don't have all their body parts. They have chickens being born." They put stories out like that.
They do have genetically modified chickens that don't have beaks and feathers, but that's not what's being delivered from Townsend Chicken, the one that I was working at. I watched the whole process from them bringing them in on trucks to the factories. You drive down through Delaware, you can see all of the pole barns. They call them chicken farms.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see them in there. Those chickens, they grew too many in the close proximity, but they not necessarily genetically modified like the ones they use in fast food. Them the ones with no feathers and no beaks.
Yes,
right?
That's deep. That's not so.
Yeah. So like you could go on YouTube and put in clipping chicken beaks. And you'll see them clipping their beaks off when they babies. It ain't no secret.
Wow.
But KFC don't blatantly call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken no more. They just call themselves KFC. It's a lawsuit I read when I was locked up. Somebody sued them and said that they shouldn't be legally allowed to call their genetically modified organisms chicken, and the courts agreed with them and told them that they couldn't call themselves Kentucky Fried Chicken no more. So they changed the moniker to KFC.
Wow. Well, that's deep, y'all. If you're still eating that stuff, that's deep. Wow. Well. Listen, this has been absolutely a wonderful exchange. And I'm sure, aside from, the interruptions with the sound and the picture kind of sticking, this has been good. And I think we have a totally different perspective. Now we can look at you, the man behind the mission, behind the activism, because I think a lot of times people think that they don't know, when you're attacking people and you don't know who they are, you don't know where they've been, you don't know what it took for them to get to and do what it is they're doing, and then you're doing a great disservice. And sometimes folk attack people that could become one of their biggest allies. But you need to figure out who they are. And like same thing with you and Grand Sheik. You all don't 100% agree with each other on anything. But the one thing I like that both of you say, we agree on the things we agree on. We find commonality in the things that we do agree on. And that's where we ought to be, I believe, as a people. Find our common ground and let's stand on that together instead of fighting each other from different sides of the road.
Right. Well, I knew I had to learn civics from a reliable source. In the different people that was teaching, I didn't find a better source of civics understanding than Taj. It don't matter what else he teach after that. I know civics from listening to Taj. Mm-hmm. Now, what is the purpose of knowing civics? You need to know what's being done, what you need to be doing to run government, how to read the law so you'll know the imposters is using legalese to trap our people. We didn't know all this stuff 100 years ago this concisely. When Noble Ali said get a good Moorish education, he didn't only mean civics. He meant historically, linguistically, learn the etymology of the words that they're using, and it's going to paint a different picture, right? So if he said he going to lead these people in power till we learn how to run the government, somebody has to sit and learn government from A to Z. One of my frustrations, and this had nothing to do with, it's not a negative knock on Taj, is that he's forced by the questions he's asked to keep saying the same thing redundantly. The irony in that is, by him saying it redundantly, I don't have to be there at the beginning. I can come in where he at and see him saying the same things over and over and say, okay, well, they're not asking the follow-up to get him out of this loop, right? So in our reading the Emerald Tablets, Thoth say everything is cycles within cycles. Learn how to interrupt the cycles. That means learn how to break that pattern of redundancy. The only way I can do that is I have to ask Taj questions that none of the prior persons that was doing their investigations in the civics have been asking him. The only question I needed to ask him is, did he know when the contract ended? Because if he don't know when the contract ended, he don't know when to stop teaching physics, so he can't never retire. He can't never go off into the sunset with his wife and have babies and all that stuff because he got to keep teaching this stuff redundantly. I want him to have the opportunity, if he chooses to take a 40-day vacation because he felt like it. Because I understand civics enough to know that as pretender to the throne, having the birthright and the blood right, there's a process. By application of this process, I enact universal law. In enacting universal law, it secures the position of all similarly situated people around the world because this is universal law that's enforced from the level of the Galactic Council. It trickles down into the 3D as an overthrow of the current system that's belligerent to the organic people on the land who has an obligation to Big Mama, Mother Nature, to clean the land up at the close of the age, to restore the waters and the airwaves back to its pristine purity. And that's not going to take no week. That's not a 2-week cleanup job. We're talking about a job that can take us a couple hundred years, but we have to start on it. But we can't start on it until one of us learns civics well enough so that we can execute the galactic law overriding the corporate jurisdictions of contract law.
Right.
And from the position of galactic law, when you discover an injustice, you report it to the people to determine if they want to remain in the injustice or if they want the justice to prevail over the injustice. It's in the electromagnetic frequency.
Go ahead.
So when we flip the grid, shit gonna change. The grid flip is going from Shu Min back to Shu Tefnut.
The feminine energy is coming back and getting its balance back.
Right. Now remember, Tefnut right there, right, represents the mother sky. Right. So he is Shu and Tefnut is the fire and water aspect of creation. Geb and Nut is the earth and the air aspect. Okay, now these is energies they talking about. And if you look at the Schumann resonance, go back to the picture, go to the picture you saved for the Schumann resonance so you can blow it up.
Got a couple I think you're looking for this one right here though.
Yeah, that's good enough right there.
This one right here.
Okay. That's good. Either one, it don't matter. Yep. So now you see in the inside of that orb, you see those sound waves in there. That's indicating the space that the resonance occupy. These is called the lower atmosphere or ionosphere. Right? Now, what happens is the frequency alters the beings on the planet under the current. Right? Every woman is a Tesla coil to heal Earth when they wake up. Right? And so they all become a beacon. One of these, if you can scroll your arrow up there to show the people what I'm talking about at the top. See where it looks like a tower sitting out?
Right here.
Tesla coil.
Yeah.
See it emitting out the top?
Yeah, right here. It's like one of them got like more stronger masculine than the other one's got like a, you know what I'm saying? It's like a masculine feminine sound energy.
So when the frequency is correct, the vibration or the pitch or the sound is perfected.
Okay.
So if you under Shu and men being two masculine deities, when you flip back to Shu Tefnet, then you get the proper harmonics.
Right, balance. That's right.
The right balance, the right sound for the A-tone. The A-tone is the tone that the women use to clear the electromagnetic field of rogue interruptions. That means beings on the planet don't belong here. And when the sisters ran the A-tone through the universal earth mind, all of the ones who couldn't match the frequency got blocked out.
Is that dealing with the alpha male? Like the alpha male? And...
We're talking about females right now.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
They are Tesla coils, right? So everywhere you see where you got the little hand at, jiggle it around so they can see it again.
Right here?
Yeah. Those things right there are Tesla coils, right? Yeah. And all of the women that's the earthborn sync with the earth, and together they make the grid go back to its proper frequency.
Okay.
Right? So they're going to end up trying to get to 532 hertz, but they're going to end up at 444 hertz.
Okay. At
444 hertz, then the frequency picks up from 432 by 6 hertz, which changes the entire frequency.
Okay.
The whole channel has just been shifted.
This is fire. Go ahead. I'm with you.
Okay, now, let's go to the fire file.
Okay, all right. I want to say this one is part of the fire file.
Yeah.
No, this is part of the water file. Okay, all right, hold on.
Yeah, that was part of the water file. It's cool though. You could have left it up there for a second.
Okay, all
right. This is an old indigenous legend. One more war is on between the mighty old dragon that is the Mississippi River and his ancient enemy man. Dragon Slayer. The dragon in his hole. So the water in the Mississippi ain't running. Right? Through the curtain-like trees, the 1927 view, perhaps a Manhattanite drinking her Sunday morning coffee peeped at a gallant steamboat, a column great house, and a close-up scene of rural black people caught in the picturesque predicament of floating roofs and tugging mules she saw. Now look.
Okay.
I want to bring something to your attention that this is the kind of stuff that we overlook.
Yeah, these codes, words and shit. Go ahead.
Right? It say through curtain-like trees. That's the forest.
Yeah.
So she's looking through the forest at people that's floating down a stream on housetops.
Right.
Now, the reason why I brought that up is I told y'all they chopped all of the trees down.
Okay.
And since we on that part, I'm finna send you a video. We're gonna watch these two little clips on them chopping the trees down in Florida.
Go ahead.
Because I've been telling us for the longest that they was chopping the trees down in Florida, and it's gonna be the intermission. So hold on 1 second.
Hey, Rob, if you're in the building, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We got 540 some people. Everybody hit the like button, man. It's going down up in this joint. We cracking heads and twisting caps. I forgot to do the ball cap disclaimer at the beginning, man. So if your ball cap already exploded, man, my bad, bro. My bad.
Okay, while you grab that one, I go get the other one.
Yeah, I'm putting it up right now. All right. if you want to show some love, man, we drop the Cash Apps in the link, man. Okay. We live, we lit. Never have it been made so clear. Okay, it's called The Giant Trees. Let's go here. It don't stop, it don't quit, y'all. Rod out if you're in the building. Somebody say, Rod, get these niggas, man. I'm gonna put them on that time show.
Look at this one. The San Francisco fire in 1906. That's March 18th, 1906. 8 and 1 is 9. That's March 9th. That's a biggie knot. Burning bed. All right, so what's the next one? Let's see. California climate apocalypse.
What? Oregon? What's that, Oregon?
I don't think you're gonna be able to read this one to blow it up.
I just see a bleak search for the
no. The top one is the article, the headline.
Okay. California
climate apocalypse. If you could read the sub one.
Nah, it says I couldn't tell you. Something about a cigarette. We like to say a cigarette. IB some to. Nah, I can't read it. It's too blurred up.
All right, let's go on to the next one. We don't spend no time on them. We just showing them the different fires. Fire on the home front. Can we see the date of that one? Nope. There you go, 1889. That's in Seattle. That's where Lewis and Clark went. Okay, go on to the next one.
Booty Boys, Lewis and Clark. Keep that in mind. I got some new information on them niggas.
This one's written right on the picture.
Brokeback Mountain.
This is the fire on Black Wall Street.
What? Okay, go ahead. Go in on it.
Right. We're gonna get back to that in a minute. But this is the fire on Black Wall Street. I think I got another picture or two of the Black Wall Street fire.
Thursday. I think that's Thursday 1st.
Thursday the 1st, 1921. Running the Negro out of Tulsa.
What? Get the hell out of town.
County put under martial law, 7 whites, 68 Negroes dead, fire rages, Black Quarter burns to the ground, tour.
4 guard units take change or charge or something.
Take charge.
Okay.
So they sent the National Guard in. That's Black Wall Street we're talking about here. All right, go on to the next one. 6 dead in race riot in Florida. This is Rosewood, colored section of town destroyed by fire.
Wow, Rosewood, right there. This is January 3rd. Let's see if we can find a date. Looks like the 1860s. Was that?
Yeah, let's go on to the next one. It's just too blurry to try to read it. This is the Symbionese Liberation Army hideout of Sinkyu from the Symbionese Liberation Army and Patty Hearst situation. In this situation, they literally blew this motherfucking house up.
Damn.
They literally blew it up.
Dropped the bomb on their ass, or literally like.
Well, I think I got a video on it if you want to play it.
Yeah, send it to me. Was it like a drop a bomb style, or rig they C4 on their shit, or just fly over and boom, drop a bomb on their ass? Was it like that? Like blow their ass up? I remember they saying something in Philadelphia where nigga they dropped a bomb on the whole fucking neighborhood. I thought, what the fuck?
That's gonna come up too. You can pull that one up right there. This is one of the chiefs They had tried, this is the guy that they tried to pit against Manson for the Helter Skelter Wars.
What? Go ahead.
They was both taught mind control in San Quentin in 1960s by the same CIA.
Johnson was it?
Yeah, the same CIA agent that taught mind control to Jim Jones, and it was Jim Jones' best friend.
Man, you getting these niggas, bro.
Pyramid, 20 more, right? And from there, you get your brick that the builder rejected that became your chief cornerstone. I'm not bullshitting. You know, all this is your MS-13, all that. It all converged right here. So now, at the 52nd mark, the perfected man this is the check, and then I got to write the receipt about. This is what it all boiled down right here. I showed y'all the key. The key to the kingdom. The red, the white, and the blue represent the 3 crowns of Egypt. Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, and United Egypt. All 3 of them. You know, the red Nile, the white Nile, and the blood. Come on now. We talking about the made man, where they dredged the Nile, the Tigris, and the Euphrates, the white and blue Nile, you know, and made the made man that we had to give the drop of blood to clean this bullshit up. Right? So here we go, playing Martin Luther King. Right? Now y'all got to remember, Martin Luther was a Protestant. He protested the Catholic Church. Y'all got to remember that. While y'all listening to this, it's for a reason that he changed his name from Michael to Martin. Him and his father. That made me pay attention. That's a Gemini effect. Always pay attention to a duality of that nature, because that's called a Gemini effect. That means that there's something going on where they need 2 icons. Right? So this is the Gemini effect. So now when I put it all together, Martin write the check. He give the conditions of the check. He lay down what was stolen. He vexed the grievance. He lay it all out right here, just like this. Listen.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. Now, this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
From his speech, The Two Nations of Black America.
So now y'all heard Martin say that when we go to Washington, we're going to get the check, right? Now, I didn't make that up. I wasn't even born when Martin said that. So the shyster that tried to shice me, right, allowed me to see the balanced book. Now, this is how the universe was able to tell me. So now, I'm going to push this to the side, because I got to go back to this later on to play the A-tone. And I'm going to put my mama over here while I pull my scribe scroll out right here. Right? Now, this is about to get a little intense over here. Let's see how we're going to do this. Grab my ink pen. Now, the first thing I gotta do, I gotta get this old phone, because I'm gonna have to go in there and show y'all the shyster sent me to the store, right? Now, I did know he was trying to shice me out the gate, but I also know that on the left-hand path, that the deception hid a key based off of the numerology. So before we get into that, we're going to get into this. I'm going to pull the shyster up. And this is how I knew. Now, this is how I knew to write about the 50-50 transfer. Now, I was already aware of balancing the books. Now, this is a con artist right here trying to get a gigantic sum of money from me in order to send me an even bigger sum. Right? So first, I'm going to go up here. All right, I was hoping it could show you. All right, now look at the time. Sunday at 12:30 p.m. 1, 2, 3. Now remember, I had 1, 2, 3. I had it in reverse 3, 2, 1. When Farrakhan gave his 3 knocks, I had to count backwards. 3 knocks, 3, 2, 1. Right? His was 3, 2, 1. Mine, well, I had to count back 3, 2, 1. Farrakhan knocked 3. Outlaw knocked 2. Hebrews knocked 1. This was the response to this. That's what I was responding to when I said 3, 2, 1 to Farrakhan. This was the countdown. Now watch what happened. What am I counting down to? The dude want me to get an Amazon card. So I go get the Amazon card and I see the A on there. Now we all know that the Amazon is the South American river. The Amazon is the South American river. Now we talking about the Amazonian basin. We putting the tribes back together, y'all. They got me putting the families and the tribes back together. I'm rebuilding this shit. Right in y'all faces what this is telling me to do. Now, y'all know my council seat is 50. Right? Then you got your A-tone, but here you have the alpha. Right? I am the beginning and the end. I am the alpha and the omega. I'm going to show you how that matter in a minute. But right now, the alpha, the 1, because alpha is 1, the first letter of the alphabet, A, 1, who stands on the crescent. Look, it's right here. So now that's telling me that this was significant. Now, as I go down to the next thing, he wanted a picture of the receipt. And this is where he get my attention. When he asked for a picture of the receipt, he want to make sure that the receipt is clear. Come on now. Try the camera. Now, he wanted me to make sure the picture of the receipt is clear so he go ahead and steal his money, which I'm cool with that. Now, look. This was the example that he gave me. Look. This was the example that he gave me of how he wanted me to send the receipt. Now, look at the top. What you see that lion? You see that lion? You see this food lion? Right? Now, any more anomalies in there that I should be reading? 608, that's 14. That's my number. North Highway, 52, that's 7. That's my number. What else? 1378. Right? 78 was the year of the child. We all know 13 is the central seat of the mother. 8, 9, 12. You add it all up, that's 19. Right? So now over here, you got the 8 and the 4 and the 3 in the area code, but the 4 and the 3 is the 7. That's the man and the woman under the feet of the lion. It's right there in front of y'all face. Now, this is a shyster trying to shice me out of some money. I got the whole thread to prove it. Did anybody think I'm making this shit up? Right? But I'm going with the clues that I'm giving in order to put this shit together. Now, look. The rest of it. 7, 6, 1. That's 2 7s, right? Then you got 3, 4. That's another 7. Then you got 02. This 7 becomes the 9. That's 9 is the birth. Right? 9 is the birth. So if you take these last 4 and make them into the 9 of the birth, and then you still got the 8, the woman, and then you got the 3 7s of the perfected man, perfected and approved on all 3 levels, among the gods, among the men, and among the demons. Right there. Right? Now, I can go on. I can just go down the whole page decoding this, but that'll just take unnecessary time. I just want people to know that I'm the baddest motherfucker ever born for real. Now, when I go to give him the receipt, This is when it all clicks. This when it all comes together. Because now I sent him this. It wasn't clear enough. Right? He sent it back. Or he's telling me to go back again. So after a couple tries, I get this. This was clearer. Right? So now I'm going to pull the actual receipt over here. If I can find it. Nope. I'm just going to stay right here because it's already in my face. Now, I went to the store to get the gift card. This is the 50/50 exchange. Now, watch this. Go to there. Store number 04301. That's an 8. Now, that's the maiden. That's the woman. Then you got 360 MLK, 360 degrees of knowledge. Closing the gate right here. Remember, I went through Lion's Gate. Right? The M stands for Morpheus. The L stands for Lion. King. Right? It's right there. That's the same zip code. Now, my zip code is 48341. Right? And it's a multiple. Like, watch this. 4 and 8 is 12. And 3 is 15. 4 is 19. And 2 is 21. That's 3 sevens. That's 3 sevens. Right? Now, watch the phone number of the store. We already know that the 248 is the 14, which is the 2 sevens, because that's what the 313 area code in Oakland County changed to 248. And it doubled the quality as I went through my initiation. Then look at the 33. You see the master number right there in front of the 5? The 5-point star represents the woman. It's broke up by the 0602. Right? Now, if you look at it, the 06 or the 6, that represents the imperfected man, and the 02 represents the union on the journey. Right? That's the union of the 2. That's 2 is always 2 things coming together when it's by itself. It's by itself on the end, the way that we're using it right now. Now, look, register number 2. Right? Now that's another 2. Just by itself. Which gives me another attention to pay as something's being put together here. Transaction 2448476. You see them 3 4s in there? But you got the 2 4s by themselves together. Them the 2 women. But when you add it all together, 2 and 4 is 6, 10, 18, 22, 29, 35. That's 8, the queen's number. So now whatever this unity is, it got something doing with a woman, a young lady, and the union, a registering of a union with a man. This is what the universe is writing. And the cashier number, 4 and 3, that's 7 out the gate, followed by a cipher, which is the break before the triple ones. Before the